Good morning. How are you doing today? Honestly, I'm thinking that you are awesome. You are amazing. Remember, you're here for our live stream, and today is the last day. You know, for Monday. You know, we've been at it from Monday the 20th right up till today, the 27th. You know, it's been an awesome time so far. We've learned a lot. There are a lot of information that we have gotten from that Monday itself to Tuesday to Wednesday to Thursday to Friday to Saturday and to Sunday yesterday. It has been an impactful journey. It has been an impactful moment for all of us, including me. I've learned a lot. I've heard from a lot of people, a lot of speakers who have shared amazing content. They have shared their experiences, they have shared their testimonies, they have shared their successes, they have shared their challenges, and you've been able to learn. I have been able to learn from that. And it's been an amazing time. Before I go on, I just want to thank God. I just want to thank the Holy Spirit for really guiding me and guiding PaveWay Technology, to be able to be attentive, to pay attention to this program, because everything that has been going on here has been amazing. This is content that you get to pay these speakers just to hear from them, but they were able to be here today live to talk to you about it. How amazing is that? And because of this, we have been transformed, we have been impacted, we have been upgraded. It has been an awesome moment to just sit down and listen to each of these speakers. And today we are here for the final session, right? We are here for the final session of the PaveWay Sustainable Career Development. Like we have been saying, or like I have been saying, because we are saying a close or closing our curtains to this event, to this particular event, doesn't mean that everything about the program has ended. No, it hasn't ended. We are going to keep having other live streams to talk about other career, other sustainable activities that you can take in your career, and other tips that you can take, things that you can do in order to have a successful career. And today we are ending it with an amazing entrepreneur, an amazing designer. He's a brother, he's a friend. We've worked on so many projects and we keep working together. Like I said yesterday, Amin Jefferson is really an inspiring young person if you get to know him, if you get to network with him. And that is why it was how can I describe it? The feeling was just so awesome and amazing when I realized that he was the one to end the event. I was like, there is no better person than Amin Jefferson who should be able to end this event. So without further ado, I would just like you guys to excuse me for a while I head over to him and notify him and let him know that the live stream has started. Okay, so that has been done. We're going to have him in a couple of minutes. And if you're just joining us, right, let us know that you're watching. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know if you have any questions. You can post, even questions from last sessions. You can post them because today is the last day. You have our full attention. You have our full we are committed to you in making sure and trying to be able to answer your questions and all of that. So let us know you're watching. If you're watching a replay, let us know you're also watching. So we have Amin Jefferson who has joined us. So I'll be bringing him shortly, but before I do that, there is a tradition here that has been going on, which is the tradition where I say a little bit of stuff about what the speaker will be talking about before I bring him in, so you guys can have an understanding of everything he is going to be talking about. So we have been talking about career orientation so far, sustainable career development so far, and we've had speakers that deal with topics like career planning, personal development, consistency in the place of creating a career. Yesterday, we spoke about skill set sustainability in a digital world. We have had these amazing people. We even had Zonda who spoke about bootstrapping into a new career, telling you how you should do it. And yesterday, about the skill set, one of the things we also heard was self-investment, self-investing, investing in your education yourself. So those are some of the things that we learned yesterday. And today we are talking about having a long and successful creative career, not just a long career. You know, there are some people who stay in in a company for 10 years, 30 years, just because the company wants to keep them there. But how do you actually have a successful, like a long, it's not just successful and short, but it's long and it's successful and it's creative in your career? So that is what Amin Jefferson will be talking about. He's a creative designer, one of the partners of Ignite Studios. He's a brand strategist. Like I said, I have worked with him and I'll keep working with him. So just to say this, you know, a brief that I picked up from thefuture.com about having a long creative career. Matthew Encina said this: pursuing a creative career is no easy journey. There is no final destination, there is no roadmap, there is just progress, an endless pursuit of curiosity and creation. So you need to be creative, you need to be curious, you need to create stuff. And like he said, there is no final destination. You don't know where you're going to. You get it? So you don't know where you're going to. You just know the progress that you're making. You know, that is all about it. So right now we are having Amin Jefferson, sir. I hope you're very ready for us to bring you live on screen, because hey, I'm bringing you live on screen and you are live. So how are you been, sir? Okay, I don't know your mic. Please, can you check your microphone? I don't know, maybe your microphone is muted. I can get your sound. I still can't get you. I still can't get you. I still cannot get you. Please just check if your mic is muted. I think on the screen that you're projecting, there should be there should be a couple of buttons you have. The first one is the microphone. The first button is the microphone, and then the video cable or something. Or maybe you're using a headphones. You can just try to take it out so we see, or maybe connect it so we see. So, like I said, we are so excited to have you, and it is going to be an enlightening conversation. Just give a few seconds for the brand digitalist himself to get his PC set up, and he's going to be back with us. Oh, I'm so eager and excited to hear from you, sir. I'm really waiting. Okay, I think he's going to be with us. Let him try to set up. Let him try to set up what he's setting up, and he's definitely going to be with us. So, like I said, in starting up a new career, right? There is a lot. The journey. There is no final destination. There is no roadmap. Okay, he's back. So I still can't get you. I still can't get you, sir. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I still can't get you. So while we wait for him to set up stuff, if you're just joining us, right? If you're just joining us for this amazing session today, want you, I would just want you to tell us your name and where you're connected from. Let us know you're watching. Let us know you're connected. And with that, sir, can you get me now? I still cannot get you. I still cannot get you. I can get you, sir. I can't get you. Please, can you just write on the chat section? Let me try to figure out. Let's try to figure out what's happening. So please, if you're just joining, right, the speaker is having a little bit of challenges. I don't know what's happening, but we are sorting these issues out and we're going to get to you. Like I said, today is the last session that we're going to have. And we have a lot in store for you, and we want you to okay. Hello guys. Please, if you are live right now, right? If you can just do us a favor, and if you are live right now and you're getting what I'm saying, please just give us a comment and let us know that you're getting me. I don't know if the issue is coming from my end, but I pretty much saw the settings. My settings from my sound settings are perfect. Yes, my input, everything is built in, so I don't think I have an issue with sound. So if you're just live right now, please, you can just let me know if you're getting me while I try to go to YouTube to get feedback. Oh, okay, let me get to Facebook to see if there is feedback from my end. To get feedback. Oh, okay. Let me get to Facebook to see if there is feedback from me. Okay. I guess I'm very much live, right? I'm live and I can get myself. So we have him connected again. So let me find out. Hello, sir.
Yeah. Hello, sir. Yeah.
I can get
Good.
you.
Yeah.
I can get you now. I can get you. So maybe you can disconnect from the PC.
Yeah. Good.
Perfect. Yeah, we're good.
Okay, that was a little bit stressful.
Okay, no worries, no worries. Thank you so much for taking out your time to be with us here today. It's been an awesome time so far, and if you don't quite know, I just want to say that the picture of what you're viewing behind us right now, that is a drone shot of Lagos, Nigeria. How amazing and how beautiful. I'm going to switch now to a drone shot of Cameroon. This is a drone shot of Cameroon. This is not a picture I should be looking at right now. So the reason we are having this event, the reason we are creating, I'm bringing all the speakers and creating out their time is because I want us to be able to together to be able to build a sustainable city like Lagos we saw earlier on. So thank you guys so much for joining us for this amazing event. Again, before I give it back to Sir Amin Jefferson, like I said, he's a brand specialist and someone who has been able to mentor and train a lot of beautiful designers in Cameroon. And the guys are doing a whole lot. Like our designer in PaveWay Technology was mentored by him, and you have a whole others like a Forty Junior, who is also a graphic designer who is trained and mentored by Amin Jefferson, and they are doing beautiful work. You have Gideon; they are doing amazing stuff, and the guy is busy. I mean, I get jobs to him and he tells me that, bro, see, I'm busy. I can't do this. Can you get someone else to do it? I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. So you can understand that he has been able to create value over time. Like Joybert said, it's about value creation, value expression, and value monetization. And Amin Jefferson is one of the guys and one of the people who has been able to do that. And this topic is all him, having a long and successful creative career. That is Amin Jefferson for you. And sir, I would just want you to take it over from me and do your stuff, do your thing. It's your stuff, so it's
Okay.
your time.
Okay.
It's all you.
Okay. Yeah. Let's get right in. Man, glad to be on this program. Yeah, you always create some amazing stuff. I think we did this last time. About when was that? Yeah, it's like earlier last year, which was good.
Yes, earlier last year we did a similar program like Vue.js, and we were supposed to have digital skills for sustainability, which it's a program that because of this our sustainable career development we are still going to get into, because a lot of problems are popping up that we were supposed to handle with that project, and the pandemic just came and trashed us up. But now
Yeah.
we know that the online space has been set up, the audience are available. A lot of people have been, they have moved online, and so it's an avenue for such programs like that to come up. So yeah, it was the Digital Skills for Sustainability program that we were about running.
Yeah, exactly. So great, man. Thank you, guys, all those who are on the call, on this program of following. Thank you all for following, and those who have been contributing from the start. Um, some great speakers there. Amazing topics, and a lot of what they've said. You might see hear them again today. So, so let's go right in. Career. That's the main thing on that lines when we look at it, sustainable career development. And it's something we all look at, and our way of approaching it might be different. But there's one thing which is certain and for sure for what Alan shared earlier today: progress. And it's a journey which it's not ending, right? Because you're going through a learning process, which I will now like to outline a bit, like 5 points, which we'll be going through today, which has to like give us a glimpse of what it takes or what we can do in helping us have a long and successful creative career. So, well, today we'll be talking about uh, finding your purpose and your passion. Yeah, finding your purpose and your passion, listening to industry professionals. I believe in every sphere that you are within it, there are industry professionals, those who are at which you see them to be at the top of their game, and doing the work that you love and you want to get to that point. Yeah. And also next up we'll talk about this issue that keeps coming up, right? And I think we've discussed, I've had several conversations about this with Alan. Do we specialize or do we generalize, right? Specialize or generalize? That'll be interesting. So I'd like to hear your views about that. I'd like to get your input a lot. And next up, we'll talk about mental health. Yeah, mental health, exactly. We creatives, there's something that I think I'd like to share a thing or two from my own experience and what I've observed in the field so far. And lastly, would like us to talk about what it is or what it takes. Like you have to document your story, document what you've done so far, right? And that has to be a constant process. Yeah. So let's get right in. The first thing we'll be discussing is your purpose, right? Your reason for being. The Japanese, they call this, there's a name they give it. They call it ikigai. You could go on Google and search it. You find the whole roadmap to it. Right? This is not just new stuff. It's stuff which we've also gone through, and then I'm presenting to you. So you also do your own research, right? So you can also be more edified from it personally, having your own views, which is I think is very, very important. Yeah. So what is it about this finding your purpose or finding your passion? This is the situation most of us youths or most of us living in school always find ourselves in, right? Where we're being told by society that, oh, okay, this is the right job for you to do because it's profitable. This is what you should do because the family is all into this. Everybody is in science. Where you're coming from with these technicalities and all that. This is a situations we deal with, right, on a daily basis, and even in our peer groups, right, where we see a friend and we see our peers, this is what they want to do, and we think, okay, hey, if they think this is good and they want to do it, I think I'll join them too, right? But if we take a step back at the approach we've been looking at within a space, Ignite, we have like a small academy called Ignite Academy, where we share ideas about these things, and then we come up with our own apps to see how can we find our purpose, how can we find our passion, right? Just to start with, passion, I would say, is what drives purpose. Purpose is what you do, and passion is what is going to take you through this journey, right? Remember, we're talking about career, and career being it's a journey through a learning process. And as it was stated earlier by Alan, it's not ending, right? It's a not ending process. So it's process, and what it's good about this thing, what is gratifying about this thing is the progress you'll be making, right? Is the progress you'll be making. And I'll talk about that later on, about progress, what is really, really interesting about it, right? So back to finding our purpose and our passion, right? So what is it really? How can you do this, right? That's what we have in mind. So, okay, yeah, how do I find my passion? How do I find my purpose? So if you're in that space now, because I believe if I'm communicating, I'm communicating mainly to most of us, or most of, just like me, we're in the journey and we're in the process of becoming, right? So here is it. So now, everyone, I believe in your mind, there's something that you love. There's something that you look at and you're like, yes, I love this, right? But the question you have to ask yourself is, does the world need this, right? Does the world need this thing? Do they want do they need it? Do they believe in it, right? That's when that question that pops up. So if what you love, it's something the world needs, then at that point you have a mission, right? So you might love it, the world needs it, yet it's not paying anything, right? There's no cash involved at that point now, and it's all a mission, right? It's the thing you see missionaries out there chasing throughout. Then there is another very interesting thing, right? Now there is this thing you love and you're good at it, right? That now becomes your drive, your passion, right? We'll now place that into a fair way. Okay, this is what you're passionate about. You're good at it. You love it. You're not getting paid for it. There's no cash involved, right? You're not sure if the world needs it or not, but you know that you're very sure that you love it and you're good at it. That's good. That's your passion. Well, the next thing I would like to I would like to get on is, there's something you're good at and you are being paid for it. That does that sound familiar? Well, that will be the job, your job, profession, exactly, right? So that's your profession. You're good at it and you're being paid for it. And at this point, you realize that we're looking for that reason for being, right? That place, at that point where what you love, what the world needs, what you're good at, and what you're being paid for, all are in alignment, right? They are aligned together. So that's that sweet spot. That's that place where we want to be, right? So, well, like I said, in Ignite in the Academy, this is what this is the approach. We take the set of steps or questions that we we ask ourselves, and to find out the exercise we do to find out exactly what is it that we can do, we're good at, we love, the world needs, and somebody's ready to pay cash for it, right? Because if someone is paying cash and the world needs it, it's just left at the location. You're not enjoying it. At some point, you might back out of it. And we're looking for what is going to be long and successful, that you enjoy the whole journey. You want to be in it. You want to see progress. You want to be in the process, and it's good, right? So I'll just jump into what we do at Ignite and what has been helping us and driving us so far. So just like a quick exercise, if you have your pen and paper there, you could join in, right? So I'll just go through the slides. I have a slide in front of me here. So I'll just quickly go through it, what we've been doing as exercise to help us get to that point. Okay, so the first question you ask yourself, right? What are you good at, right? It's a list. Go into that list, make a list of the top 5, 10 things that comes to your head. What are you good at? List them down, right? List them down. Don't put any limitations, no boundaries. Go ahead, list them out. The next, you put, what are you skilled at, right? At this point, what you think you're skilled at? What are the things you say, okay, this I can do, right? This I can do to this percentage. This I can self-criticize yourself. Be your own critic at this point, right? You should do that. Then when you've listed those out, now take the next step, right? Let's find out what makes you happy. What is that thing that you love, and so you're so excited and happy about it, that, oh, this is what I'm happy, is my happy place, right? Write them down, make a list. Do the same, make a list. Don't give yourself boundaries, right? Go in, make a list, whatever it is, from music to cooking food. Yes, make that list. So uh what next do we get into? Okay, there are these things that are out there that we look at and we are like, okay, this is interesting, but we're not really into it. But deep down we like say, okay, uh I'm passionate about this particular thing, be it a profession, be it an occupation you see somebody doing. You're very passionate about it, but you're not really doing it. You just have that passion for it. Make a list of those things, write them down, top 10, top 5, go in there, write them, and then see what you come up with, right? And then we get into the next phase, right? Get into the next phase about this. If you're really following this, just let me know, right? If I'm too quick, let me know. All the same, you can jump in, and then, like, also, if there are questions, just put them down so we can get into those questions by, say, uh, maybe taking a break, or when by the end of this session. So the next thing we'll also find out, or the next question we'll ask ourselves during this exercise, like, what service is it that you can offer to the world? What service can you offer? Right? Don't limit yourself. Whatever you think you're capable of doing, write it down. Later on, we'll talk about, in when we're talking about mental health. There's some issues that I'll raise pertaining to this. So, what service can you offer, right? And then let's start aligning these things, right? What are the opportunities that are in the society? Look around your society. Look around, because you've been living there basically your whole life. So think, what's available out there, right? What are the services or opportunities in your society, right? What are the opportunities in your society? What do you what do you see constantly out there, right? What are the opportunities that are out there that you think nobody's grabbing? Go there, write it down, as many as you can, right? Write them down. Now, this is what you're going to do, right? Because you've written this down, what you're going to do next is create, right? Create an educational product or service that aligns with your interests. You've written these things, right? So I believe the top three from every list you have, from every list, or from every question you've posed, the top three there should be uh, the most interesting things that you're really drawn to. So let's take the top three things, and then now we align them with what educational product or service can I create, right? That aligns to my interests. Good. Next up, we'll go now to what physical product, right? We're talking about an educational product recently. Now we're talking about the physical product. What physical product can you create that aligns with your interests, right? So, and notice, an idea in the mind is like the world's biggest secret. So at this point, what I'm encouraging you to do, or what I think you should do, is those ideas that are lurking in your head, put them down on paper. Put them down on paper. When they're written, they become uh 10% clearer to you, right? So you can approach them from a different perspective, from a point where you are now trying to solve a problem, where you're trying to create a solution. So create a physical product that aligns with your interest. And the next thing you're going to be doing is this. An interesting part, love this part a lot. Love this part a lot. So create an application or website that aligns with your interests. Yeah, do that. Create an application or a website that aligns with your interests. It's not going and writing code, no. Or it's not going and or you're actually building it. No. Write it down, build it in your head. You've written all these things that you're interested about. You've written all these things that you said, society, the opportunities that are out there in society. Well, align all this and then build now that solution. What you're doing now is you're building the solution. We have reverse engineered like the whole process, right? Just through the steps of or through this exercise where we have to answer these questions. So you will do this, and at some point you will find out, oh, there's not much I could write. There is not often there is that limitation to our creativity. We look at some things to be, oh, this is not smart enough to be written down. This is not. Don't don't limit yourself to that. Go in, write these things down, and start aligning them to your interest. An educational product or service, a physical product or service. Now go there and then you create a website. What is this website going to be? What is it for? Right? And how does it link up to the opportunities which you earlier have written down or shared? Write these things down, and then now you have a roadmap, sort of a career path to now start playing with, right? To now say, okay, this is where I'm at. This is the things I'm capable of doing, right? Because later on we're going to dive deeper into this when it comes to what you're capable of doing when it comes to your mind, your mental health. We'll look into that going forward. And this is the approach. Like I said, this is the approach we've taken. This is our own 2 cents. This is what is helping us. This is what has been helping us grow. This is what we also teach and share this document with others in the field, those in our space. So like help them, and it's been very helpful to me personally. It has been, and it's what gave birth to what we are testing and playing around now with Ignite Academy. Initially, when I went through this, the whole thing was called Virtual Space. Now we're building it into an academy, seeing how we could help in our own bits and in our own time with the resources, help those who also who are aligned to this, who believe in this journey with us. Okay, so with that said, I think I would like to dive into our next part, into our next point, which I outlined earlier, talking or listening to industry professionals, right? Well, if there are questions you have from the earlier, please just keep them, write them in the comment section. We'll follow up. Alain is there. I believe he's going to pick them up, and then we could discuss more on that. I'm open to suggestions. I'm open to content. Thank you. So, listening to industry professionals. Well, the situation most of the time is we get into a space, and we are too excited and we want to do things. We want to grow in that space without having a skill or or taking out time to research about those who are already there, those who have been doing it for 10 plus 15 years, and so on and so forth. They must not, like, let me just say this often. These people, when I say look up to industry professionals, directly will be industry professionals in your discipline or within your area. No, we're on the internet now. It's a global or information just at your fingertips, right? Go into the internet, scan it, go dive deep into it, look for these guys who are doing the same thing you're doing, or if not the same, those who are doing it at their peak in other industries. Take time, write it down, research about these people, Listen to them. There's this thing we always say back in the office: success leaves clues, right? And with the help of the internet, at first it was the library, so now there's the internet. So getting these things is just at your fingertips. You can get them. So what's all this about success leaves clues, right? The people who have been successful, you are going to know in your field. If there are any, if you say, I'm in the software engineering, you look at the most successful guys, the guys who have done it, have been there, gone through it. Yes, if you go on the internet, you're going to find it. It's either going to find a video, you're going to find, you'll find, you trust me, you're going to find a piece of work, of their work. You'll find a piece of their literature, whatever they've written, a video they've been on, they've spoken about it. Yes, you're going to find that, and then take this information and consume it, right? When I say consume it, what do I mean exactly? Reverse engineer what they're doing. Initially, you will not how will I put this? You will not go there and say, okay, I want to do all what they're doing. But this was going to happen. There are things they're doing that will pique your interest. Those things that you identify. It's not all of them, right? It's not going to be everything that they're doing, no, but just the little things, just the few things that they do. Yes, you go there and then you identify these things. You identify these things. Okay, okay, this is what they're doing. This is what is going on in this in this thread. This is what like in my space, what we've done is we've outlined about 48 to or more plus designers and industry professionals, architects, those who are at the top of their game, right? Those who we look at their work and we love, we admire. We've written their names down, and what we do is we now make we do research on them, right? The things that we identify, it might not be everything they do, it might not be everything that aligns with us. It must not align with us to start with, right? We pick them out and then we take it now into our own, into what we do, and then apply it. Okay. So for instance, we're looking at design, the design industry. We look at like I earlier mentioned Paul Rand, which which is one of the top graphic designers of all times. We look at his work. We look at when you look at his typography, look at specific things about what he does. Typography, his use of space and all that. Those are things, little things that we copy and then now we apply them to what we do, right? Same. You can do same in your field. You can do same. You can do same in your field. You can do same with what you love. Go to those people, grab whatever you find interesting, right? Because that's what I think is going to help you as you grow as uh, a creative, as a creative, because this now needs you, will help you gradually, as you're building up your own portfolio, you're building up your own journey as you're going through your own journey. It creates now your own path, right? That you've created for yourself because you've gone through these top guys and then you take what you're taking now is what has worked for them and what is working for you. If it does 10%, that's good, right? It's not going to be 100%. If it's 100%, I always look that as, oh, this is success. No, put it a scale and say, okay, let me take 35% of what this guy's doing, right? Because this is what I can identify and this is what I'm capable of doing. Yeah. So that's how we see it, right? Go listen to industry professionals. There are so many of them there, either in your field or not in your field, that you find you're interested in, or those you love their work. write them down, make the list, crazy list. Like I said, we have tons of those designers, 48 plus of those designers. And what we have been doing is going into your work, do research, the things that we identify, the elements we identify, we take them and we apply them into our work to see how we are also growing and making progress in our journey. Yeah. So that is part that's about it. Next up, I would like to get into what we the question that always comes up, the things that the thing that we always discuss about trying to find middle ground, right? Do you specialize or do you generalize? There are I know you've written the list, and there are a lot of things that you can do. There are a lot of things that you love. There are a lot of things that you're interested in. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's really good. But now, do you specialize or do you generalize? Right? Okay. So I'm going to ask this question. Right? You could drop a comment if you can answer. So when you walk into a restaurant and then the menu is dumped in front of you, and then you're looking at it, you're scanning through 300 different foods, or I don't know, culinary dishes are available. How do you feel? Right? How do you feel? You get into a restaurant, let me not drop names. Let me not drop names. Okay, so that is it, right? How do you feel when you get into a restaurant and then you have to scan through a menu of 300 dishes? Reverse engineer that and put yourself in that place and say, okay, this is me, and I'm offering this number of services. What's that like? How does you how will your audience approach this, right? How will your target market approach it? How do you expect them to approach this? Same thing. You go to a doctor and you're sitting there looking for a solution to your problem, and then he gives you a list of things that, well, I'll go straight up and blank and say, okay, no, guys, specialize, right? In the like, take this, like I'm saying, take this with a what, how do I put it? Take this with a pinch of salt. What I'm saying, what I'm actually saying is this: specialize in the in the line of marketing yourself. Specialize. You can do all these other things, that's good, but what's the one thing you're good at? We went through that list, and that's the whole point of it. You're trying to pick out your top, where you perform at best, right? Pick out that one thing, and that's where you will be that's where you will be you will be marketing. That's what you'll be using to market yourself out there. You could be a designer, a web developer, you could be a software engineer, it could be all those things. But what's the one thing you say you're good at? What's the one thing you're going to market out there? What's the one thing that's going to be on your menu, right? What's that one thing? So I'll go right out and straight up and say specialize, right? Because when they look at it from the financial point, we always think, okay, if I'm doing all these things, that makes sense. Money is going to come in different sources. That's that. Well, I'm saying I've been in the industry for a while now, not so long, but for a while now. So I will give you my own experience when it comes to being a generalist. Being generalist hasn't helped us as much, right? Being generalist or doing everything. What we brand ourselves in or the way we brand ourselves are brand designers. We help companies with brand design, period. If you come to us and you're looking for motion graphic, you're looking for SEO, you're looking for web design, you're looking for all these other things, yes, we can give them to you. But what we brand ourselves are brand designers. What we put out there, or we market ourselves as brand designers, because that's the thing we know we are good at, we are top at. And through that, we've had clients come to us for brand design, and then the next point, we're into SEO, we are into marketing, we are into all the other bits and needs that they don't, or to start, we don't even list them on our on our menu, right? Because this is what happens when you're good at one thing, people will come to you for to all other things. Think of back when you were in, let's say, primary school, or back when you were in school. The person that was top at class, obviously when they're at the pitch, you obviously ask him like, can you play? Or you're asking that because you know, okay, he's good at this thing, then he should be good at the other things, right? I was at some point, right? I did a lot of logo designs. So most of my clients will know me for doing logos, but yet they'll come to me and say, okay, can you do this other thing? And it's either I'm going to tell them yes, and they'll go with me because at that point they really trust you, or you have now the upper hand to refer them to someone you think is good, which has always been the case when it comes to my working relationship with Alan, which has been very good and very fruitful over the years, and we've been comfortable with that. And I think that should be the way the way to go. You are a specialist in one thing, and that's what you market out there. You can go generalizing all these things, a bit of philosophy, a bit of web design, a bit of consultation, a bit of all those things. You can learn them, but there's one thing that you depth is very necessary. This is the depth of your knowledge. This is where you are expert in. Yeah. So market, specialize in one thing, and that's what you market out there. You could have this all other bits, but there's one thing you market out there. Yeah. So that's it when it comes to, are we going to specialize or are we going to generalize? To me, that's my opinion. That's what it is. That's what I've experienced, and that's what's been working for us till this point, right? There are times we've almost, it look like we're taking a nosedive when it comes to business, but we're still in the business. It's a process. It's a process. We're looking at progress, and so far, I mean, we're making progress, generally speaking. Yeah. So another thing I would like us to talk about, if there are any questions still about the specialized or generalized, yeah, we can talk about that. You can look up Seth Godin. He also has spoken about this in his blog. His blog about this a lot. Do you specialize or do you generalize? These are guys which are at their top. So go read them. I have him on my list. I always read his stuff just to help myself in the journey. So yeah, go get more, do more research on your own, and then see what works for you, or what works best. Yeah. So next up, we're going to talk about uh, mental health, exactly. So what is it about mental health, right? And I would like to say this: just like our body, right? Just like our body, we we train our body, just like we prepare our body, do workouts and all that. Is the same way we're training our brain, right? And it's going to perform at the level at which we perform it, or at which we prepare it, rather. Sorry. Your brain is going to, or your mind is going to perform at the level which you prepare it to. So with that said, uh, we are in the industry, and uh, we do face a lot of challenges when it comes to when it comes to work related, or be it personally in our relationships, and be it with clients, or be it with our loved ones, right? And these things do affect our work in the long run, the things we do. And that might not help us, or that might not help you to 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 to, to, to keep up in the journey, right? You might get to burnout and you might have to back out. You might have to seek other comfortable, more comfortable environments, because you turn into, or you're victim of mental issues, right? So this is what first thing I'm going to say is, there are only a few things you can control. You can only control the things that are within your capacity to control, right? That's the first thing. Because I noticed in my experience, we're trying to control clients' expectations. We're trying to control what they are going to, how they're going to receive our work, how they see our work, how they perceive our work, how people perceive our work. It becomes too emotionally attached to what we've created, that we cannot detach from it. Whatever critic is being labeled out, then now we take it personal, and then it's difficult for us to cross that umbrella or cross that ceiling. Well, control what you can control. You can't control what you send out, what you put out to the world. You cannot control what you've created, right? Once you create it and it's out there, it's no longer yours. The best you could do is put in your work, put in the work while you can, and then once it goes out, that's it. Sit back, whatever critique you receive, try to be positive. Always build this positive mindset of positivity. Approach, be your own critic, your own self-critic, and always with the aim to grow. Because if there is no constructivity, if you can have like a construct for growth, then now whatever critique is coming in, you take it personally, and then it's difficult for you now to cross that ceiling of growth. Is very, very key in our journey as creatives. To be successful is not a matter of 100%. Is, have you achieved 10% today? Have you achieved 20% tomorrow? That's it. That's the growth. That's the scale in which you want to take it. Right? Because it's not a thing of getting to 100 tomorrow. As the atomic steps, the little things, right? And which I think client feedback is key. Don't take it personal. Take it in order to grow, right? Because we're always expecting the client to say, okay, I'm going to like your work. Not everybody's going to like your work. Not everybody is going to like what you do. Not everybody's going to like the level at which you are. But you have to take that with aims that, okay, this is where I'm at today, and this is where I'm going to be tomorrow. And you grow towards that level, because that's what you can control, right? The ones is beyond your control, you have to sit back. Whatever critique comes, construct it positively to move forward. Another thing which is very key, I think, is what our mind consumes, right? What our mind consumes. And this, I think this is very important, because it cuts across all spheres, from music to those who are into the arts, right? Or say those who are into food, whatsoever. What your mind consumes is very, very important. On the internet, there are a lot of things, from scams from scams to pornography. No, those are things that your mind shouldn't be consuming. Being a creative, your mind should be set to consume what is going to help you in developing yourself, right? Because what you consume is what you're becoming. Is what your mind in your creative space, is what your mind is feeding on. So feed your mind with the things that's going to help you grow. Like what helps us, or what helps me in particular, also about this. There is this musician. I don't know if you're familiar with her work. Lauren Hill. She said this in her, like, I think a part of her lyrics said this, like, there's a war in the mind over territory. So you should notice everything that comes in your mind is the one. Your mind, the battle goes on in your mind. So you have to guide your mind at all points, because mental health is what you want to keep. You have to be healthy mentally at all times. You have to be healthy mentally at all times. You don't want to have a breakdown, a burnout, or a situation where you start having creative blocks. You start being depressed because you're getting the client feedback is not what you want it to be, right? Yeah. So I would say, yeah, be cautious about what you consume, and also be able to know the things you can't the things you can control, the things that are beyond your control. You can't control the weather, you can't control the weather, you can't control people's opinions. You can't. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. What you have to do is construct and pivot. That is grow. Yeah. There is this verse. Yeah, I'm going to quote this verse if you're familiar with it. I think Philippians 4:8. Philippians 4:8. I can't really get, but look it up. It just gives you exactly what your mind should do. What your mind should do as you grow. What your mind should do to grow, to be better, to be what you want it to be, to be that space, to constantly be in that space where you find yourself enjoying the process because of what your mind is consuming. So yeah, so I think that is it when it comes to mental health. Like I'll recap: you can't control everything, right? You can't control everything. So be mindful about what you can control, and control what you can control. Be careful about what you consume, what your mind consumes. Right? If you eat if you eat garbage, your health takes a dive, a nosedive. You know that your health takes a nosedive. So you have to, same to your mind, right? Like I said, it's going to be performance is going to be at its peak based on the level which you trained it to be. So make sure that whatever you're consuming, whatever it's within your control, there are things that are going to help you keep a stable mental health, because with that you might have a breakdown, and that's it. In the journey, it might not be as good. You find it being really, really strenuous going forward. And in this whole journey, in this whole discipline, be it in from graphic design, web development, I think Alan will attest with this. If you're not making progress, it's really frustrating. It's really frustrating. So yeah, so that the last thing I'll like to dwell on is document your journey, right? Document your journey. Why do I say this? Because that's how you measure progress. You need that for your self gratification, to say, okay, this is where I've gotten to. This is what is possible. To look at what is possible within your realm, right? Okay, these are the possibilities I could achieve. These are the things I could do to take me. So these are the things I've done to take me to this level. And I'm glad that most of what I'm talking about, the mental health, consistency, the speakers that came before me have really dwelled on that. You can go back and then listen again to what they said. You you will notice that you even learn best yourself, right? When you are documenting your progress, documenting your journey. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's failures, if it's successes, all the same. Document it. There are a lot of failures we've made. I'll even tell you more failures than the successes. But the reason we are still here is because of the places, the areas in which you've succeeded. And because we've been able to document it, to be able to look back and say, okay, these are the areas where we failed. But yeah, again, still trying, right? And that's why we are still where we are today. We are still making progress. And that's good. That's been good. And looking at it, we know that okay, these are the places which we can improve. It's very important to document your progress. Now, there is always this worry about, oh, how do I balance this? How do I balance this with like basically work-life balance? Okay, so the way we see this, right, or the way I see it personally, where I see it, I'll tell you is blur the lines between work and life. Blur the lines between work and life. Let work be life and life be work. Yeah. Because by the time we start putting limitations or putting boundaries, now you should know you're managing two things. You're managing your work and you're managing your life, right? To me, that cuts across. For example, my relationship with Alain, yeah, it's this is our life, right? It's been our life. It's not or not walk up to Alan and say, oh, this is the business area. Let's not talk about this. This is no, no. I mean, uh, there are times when we are just having a good time, and then through that there is a spark. There a solution pops up, right? Always in your spare time, talking with family, talking with your peers, having those conversations, always try to bring in work, right? Always trying to bring in work, always trying to look at places, areas you could make progress, you could like get others' perspective, right? Because that's the whole thing. The reason we are building all this is to send out to the world. So how can you be out there and not test it live right in front of you, right? How are you going to find these opportunities, right? How are you going to know the problems that are out there? It's through your daily interactions with those who uh, live in and interacting with these products that you create or these products you say you want to create, right? Those who are interacting with this products that you're going to compete with in a sense, right? So what you want to do is blur the lines between work and life. Blur the lines between work and life. Personally, I think it's going to be a lot to manage if you have to say, okay, this works ends here, life continues here. That's already a lot to handle. Blur the lines, and then I think it's going to help you in your creative career because creativity is what you're uncertain about, right? It's in that place of uncertainty that creativity comes in, right? And uncertainty is always in our life situations and the day-to-day activities. So by the time we start putting in boundaries, we start setting boundaries and saying work-life balance, you're trying to balance work with life, we might not have the creative burst which we require for our growth for an update in the quality of the work we do. Yeah. So that is it when it comes to documenting your story, your struggles. Work life balance is not really what we look at it to be. Rather, we look at it to be blur the lines between work and life. Blur the lines, not the balance, blur the lines within it. Yeah, and that's what has been helping us look at it, do your research, and see how you can grow in your career. Because what we want to do, or what is important, is having a long and successful career. This is in part, say, this is going to help you get or go through this process as it is. Go through this whole learning process, this learning curve. Yeah. Yeah. So that's it. If there are any questions, I'm open to any questions. I'm open to suggestions. I'm here. So, Alan, you can take it.
Okay. Thank you very much for that awesome session. That was a lot that you shared. Yeah. From everything that he made mention, I want to pick up on the part of generalist. Should I generalize or should I specialize? Because the question popped up, when we were for a session with one of the speakers who was talking about the place of consistency in your career or business. You know, and somebody was like, do you really think that someone should focus on just doing one thing or they should do several things? And when I gave him the answer of, from my point of view, what I'll tell you is that I would want I would want someone to focus on just one thing. And he was like, no, let somebody be able to do so many things. I said, okay, pause right there. Do you $1 trillion company right now if Steve Jobs was trying to run Barcelona as a football club?
Yeah. Good one. Yeah. Yeah.
So, like you mentioned, of in the case of, if you get to ask the question of like, okay, or Jamrock doing that well if they were focused on so many things. We know them. I don't know, the
Yeah.
internet seems okay. So imagine that Jamrock was known for so very like so many other things. You
Yes. Yes, I
get.
can.
So that is the actual part where we find ourselves. I always like citing. I also like citing the example of a hospital. Man, if I'm having cold, something, malaria or something, I will go to a general practitioner who would give me a Ferrigan, give me some funny stuff that they're going to give me. But if I have, or if you have a serious, if you have a serious something to deal with, right? If you
Yeah.
have something serious to deal with, like, okay, if you have an operation in the heart, you can't see a general practitioner for that. That guy can help you. You have to see someone who is specialized in cardio, what is cardiopractor, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
He's specialized
Yeah.
in the heart. So that is the person you see. And let nobody fool you. Generalists don't make a lot of money. They just have money coming from so many angles, but they don't make a lot of money. A specialist is paid more than a general doctor. That's why even in hospital, there are a lot of hospitals that can't afford them. So they bring them on contracts because they are specialists. Because the hospital cannot afford them, they can't keep them. And you also made mention of the whole aspect of networking. That is something that a lot of the speakers have spoke about and stuff. Because you mustn't do anything and everything because you just want to make money. You have to focus on a particular aspect, and then you have a network that you can easily refer. Like when
Yeah.
when this guy went on my social media handle when you were still handling every design and every stuff, when he got to me, I was like, hey, Alan, I would love for you to really beef up my social media to be like yours. I really love the designs and everything you're doing. You remember that I got to you
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
eh, Designing is not my thing. I'm a tech guy. Building websites is where I spend all of my time and everything. So I go back to
Yeah.
you because you were part of my network and you told me that you couldn't do it. So I had to move to Arno, who is now part of the team, and he's been doing amazing work. And yesterday we had the CEO of that company, Twin Talks, that spoke to us. And we have this giant, amazing network. When I have things that has to do with digital marketing and stuff like that, I reach out to Zonda, I reach out to Twin Talks and let them know that, hey, bro, this is what's up. How can you get this done and stuff like that? So, like you said, countless number of times we have had our clients come to us for web designing, and then they tell us that, hey, Alan, I want you to provide me services such as SEO, search engine optimization and stuff like that. But we don't
Yeah.
brand ourselves out there as SEO specialists. We don't. We brand ourselves as web developers. Like, we are able to leverage any type of technology to build solutions for you. So that, like, what you've really shared, and the aspect of mental health is one of the reasons that I brought a mental health specialist, or a public health specialist, in one of the sessions back. He had a session on Thursday, and at 4 p.m. he was talking about most of the things you were talking about, mental health. Because if you're not in the right frame of mind, creativity can come into play. If you're not in the right frame of mind, you can produce. You know, that is one of the reasons, because some of these things, I would say that they have to deal with the mental aspect of it. Because if your mentality, or if you're not in the right frame of mind, you can't really produce creativity. Like, one of the topics I want to really have you on for us to discuss, this is mostly for graphic designers and visual identity and all the creatives out there. Because, like I told you, the question that really plagued me, I can't imagine that you are a graphic designer, you are a brand identity specialist, and you use one font for your company and for every other design you do for any other company out there. That doesn't make sense. So your typography is a standard something, it doesn't change. I mean, I can identify
Yeah.
your design not by the creativity, but I can identify it by typography. It really doesn't sell out. I also did some of research, like when Ferdinand told me about it, I did my own personal research, and I realized that, imagine a company like Supermon, they do Planet and all of these things. Bro, their designers don't stick to color palette, they don't stick to typography. They just use about like everything, anything that they feel like, okay, this should be good for this design. There is no identity to that job. It's like somebody, when I did a particular design for PaveWay Technology, and the person told me that, Alan, don't you think that you should make the design like, I mean, at least change the font a little bit? I said, no, that is PaveWay
Yeah.
font. We are not changing the font for anything. People identify us by that. Just like I identify Google,
Yeah.
I identify Apple by, I don't need to see Google logo on anything. When I see Lato, Roboto, Railway, is Google. They don't use any other font apart of these three on any design or anything. It's just the three font: Roboto, Lato, and Railway. It's the
Great. Yeah.
font that is for them. So these are really important things that we have talked about, and these are things that keep you right. These are things that keep you from from having issues with companies. And like yesterday, we were talking about the activities in companies have changed. The requirement of hiring in organizations have shifted, and companies no longer are looking for people who are like uncreative. You're being hired as a marketing as a marketer in a company. The company is expecting you to know how to at least design some things, so you can go on canvas and put one or two together. The company is expecting you to understand typography. They're expecting you to understand what are pixels. So you need to be creative, and all of the steps that he has been able to show, like, share with you, that will help you. Now, I want to reiterate on something very important that you need to understand, because we always get bombed when we hit a place where maybe we fail. I want to read something that Matthew Encina said. It's in the future website. He said, pursuing a creative career is no easy journey. There is no final destination, there is no roadmap, there's just progress. An endless pursuit of curiosity and creation. If you get this at the back of your mind, right, you won't feel bad when you fail at trying to do something. It means that you know that creativity has no roadmap. It's an endless pursuit of curiosity and creation. So what happens? You don't feel embarrassed when you fail.
Yeah.
What happens is that when you try to create something and it fails, you look for a different pathway to go for it. This guy who actually made the light bulb work, he said, I have not failed 1,000 times. His name is Thomas Edison. He said, I've not failed 1,000 times. I've found 1,000 times that is impossible for a light bulb to be made.
Smart. Yeah.
So it's like how people say that I don't see this cup as half full. I don't see it as half empty. I see it as half full. You get? So
yeah.
You don't get embarrassed. I know they say that failure sucks, failure sucks. But the creative process is a process of try and error. Let me put it like that. In programming, we can say try catch. You try, it fails, and you catch the error and see where it went wrong. You try again, it fails, you catch and examine the error and see where it went wrong, and you try again. So that is just it. You have to understand that the creative process is an endless part of creativity. It doesn't end. It's an endless part of curiosity. You're curious about that whole stuff. Most people didn't just create $500 fortune companies at first. They started somewhere and it failed, and then they moved somewhere and it worked. So creativity is similar to that. It's the same aspect. You try it out, but now before you try it out, there is a process you need to follow, which Amin Jefferson has so much helped us with that. But before you start following that process, he had to start with the process that you had to follow. But I will tell you that you have to reverse, especially the mental health has to be first. The mental health has to be first, because even if you follow the whole process that he gave without the wrong mindset, without the wrong mental health, I'm definitely going to tell you that it will fail. Nothing will work out. So that is one of the things that you have to understand. So right now we are open for questions. If you have any questions, you can post so that we, like I said, this is an interactive session, and if you say hi, let us know where you're watching from, and ask your question. And we are live here to answer. Today is the last day of the PaveWay Sustainable Career Community. And like I said yesterday, and a lot of partnership has been coming in. Like yesterday, we had a conversation. The CEO of Twin Talks University, it's having an upcoming program for people who want to learn paid media, social search engine optimization. It's all free, and they want to, or they are partnering with PaveWay Technology for us to make sure that a lot of people gain access to these awesome resources. And right here, right today, we just heard Amin Jefferson told us about the Ignite Academy. And yes, what we want to do in PaveWay Sustainable Career Community is to be able to connect you out there with with all these awesome opportunities with industry level professionals that would help you. Like we said yesterday, your university guarantees you a certificate. They don't guarantee you skills. Skills are only developed through your interaction with industry professionals and your own passion trying to solve a problem. That is when you develop skills. Photoshop is not taught in any school. Graphic designing is not taught in any school. It's only taught by professionals. That is why Zuckerberg, for example, dumped university, like he left university, and then all of a sudden, they called him back after he has built a gigantic social media network with up to 2 billion users, and they gave him an honorary. Think about it. Did he learn how to build Facebook in the university? No, he didn't. It's only a skill that he developed later when he had a problem to solve, which was a social media problem. And now the school called him and gave him an honorary. So, like I said, your academic path is different from a career path. Your academic path guarantees you certification. A career path gives you skills. And those skills now you can certify. Adobe doesn't certify you because you know the ins and outs of Adobe. Adobe certifies you because you have the skills to use Photoshop or Illustrator. It's the skills because of the career, not the academic. When we're talking about academic paths, you have a goal. This is the goal you have as an academic person following an academic path. I want to have a PhD. Career path, what you have in your head, mind is, okay, I want to solve the having with regards to financial. I want to be able to make sure that people can send with ease. That is now a problem. That problem now causes you to follow a certain path to get the skills you need to solve that problem. And every time you get those skills, now you can decide to certify. But with an academic part, you have no problem. From my part and from my end, that is sad. Because you come out and be unemployed. And it's a huge problem to the society because it is one of the reasons now that Cameroon is under a huge problem with all the funny guys who are rioting. A lot of them are people who followed an academic path and they have nothing to do in the society, because I am very much sure that Jefferson Ignite Studio is not going to hire someone with a master's just for hiring sake. Ignite Studio is definitely going to hire someone who has the skills that they need, not because they have a PhD in some related field, but because of the skills. So thank you very much. I don't have questions. I mostly have comments with regards to great content and all of that. So I really want to thank you all, thank you guys for being with us. And thank you, sir, for being with us. I would just like to let you leave right now because there are no questions for you. But if the questions come later, I am going to get them to you so you can answer, and then we revert back to the people. So thank you very much for your time. We appreciate you being here, and we would love to always have you in the community to keep talking to us and telling us the findings, your challenges, and how we can escape the failure. You know, escaping failure is all about learning from the best and learning from people who have gone through that same path and they know what roads you should take. Say follow who know road, but who your transport.
Certainly.
So thank you very much for this awesome session, for this amazing session. I would just love to let you go now, so I try to close up the session and the event finally, because today is the end. Thank you very much. I love you, bro.
Okay, same here, man.
Okay, thank you guys very much. If you have been watching, like I said last time, If you have been watching, this is the last live stream and the last video we're having for our sustainable career development for our back to school program. And yesterday I took out some time to talk about the PaveWay Sustainable Career Development, and I also want to do that today. What is the PaveWay Sustainable Career Community? The PaveWay Sustainable Career Community is a community of professionals, right? We're trying to create a community of professionals like the Amin Jefferson, the Japanese Joybed, the Zonda 14, the Arnold, and the J-Loaded, and everyone. You know, different professionals. We are trying to bring different professionals in the industry in Cameroon, people who are making waves in their various industries so that they can be able to lead you. You know, think about the PaveWay Sustainable Career Community as LinkedIn, but LinkedIn for basically Cameroon or career focus. Like we are focused on career, and we are focused on creating a community where you are